I work mostly with emotional energy that it relates to our capacity to experience and express and manage our emotions. It affects our mood and our resilience, emotional, mental, physical, and even spiritual resilience, and our relationships. You know, it's influenced by our internal factors, as we said before, such as thoughts and beliefs and our attitude, and then also external factors such as our social interactions and our environment and our life events, because we're human beings. We all have good, bad, and indifferent life events, but the emotional energy is going to tell us how we are going to act, and react to those events. And a healthy emotional interactions and connections contributes is a main contributory factor in our positive outlooks. And just I'm going to give you two examples. Just yesterday, I had to watch my special needs niece because my sister had to work and she had a doctor's appointment, and my niece didn't have school, and we found out that, well, she did have school. We did found out later in the day that she did have school. She did have school, but getting her ready for school is, I mean, she's special needs, so she has physical disabilities, and but the issue for me was I live 2 hours away, so it's a drive there and it's a drive back, and so we kept her out of school that day because we didn't think she had it, and then, oh my gosh, she does have it. And I said, well, I could look at that. I could use my emotional energy. I could choose it to be a negative where, oh my gosh, I gave up a day and a half of my life, even though I didn't need to, and I missed several meetings. Or I could look at it like, oh my gosh, I had a really great time with my niece. We painted, we created art, we danced, we laughed, and and that's what I chose to okay, yes, I missed my meetings, big deal. I'll get them next week. So having that emotional intelligence, that to know which emotional energy you want to engage in, helped me create and keep a positive outlook on something that could have been really annoying. It wasn't, because I had so much fun. And the other example is how our emotional energy affects our physical bodies, our physical energy. And I'm going to give you this example of a client of mine who called me up just in tears. And she's like, I have to have heart surgery. And I'm like, no, what? I hadn't talked with this client in quite a while. And she's like, yes, I'm going in for heart surgery in a couple of days. And I have a cyst in the back of my heart that's creating a irregular heartbeat, and it has to be removed. And she's like, I don't have anyone to watch my daughter. I'm a single mom. I'm on my own. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. We live in two different states. So, and she said, I just in tears, and just all this emotional energy coming out. And I said, okay, let's work on this so that you don't take that negative emotional energy into your surgery, because that could affect the outcome of your surgery. And we worked for 2 hours on her mother issues. And she's like, what does my mother issues have to do with my heart? And we realized she was one of 12 kids. So there was a lot of times where her mother was so busy with everyone else that she didn't have time for her. And there was a lot of hurt and there was a lot of betrayal. And once we released that, and other things, we released that. She's like, I feel better, but I still have to have the surgery. And I said, before you go into the surgery, because it was very invasive, I said, have your doctor check to see if the cyst is still there. Whatever test you need to do, I recommend you get it redone. And she did. And the cyst was gone. The doctor was astonished.
Thank you, thank you. Hmm.
He's like, I have never seen that before in my life where the cyst was there and now it's gone. It
Yeah.
was all of that emotional energy
Mhm.
from the mother and all of the mental emotional energy creating a physical response in my client's body. And once the emotional energy was gone, so was the physical.
Yeah. Jen, I'll add, although I talked about I work with the physical energy a lot, you know, almost, I don't have a percentage number, but almost all of the physical issues that people come to me
Yep.
for, unless it's like an injury or an accident, almost all of them have an emotional root that has manifested itself in the physical disharmony.
Mhm.
And so, as we start with the physical issue that's going on, and then as we look for the root to let that go, um, we are going into, what's the emotional kind of emotion that's trapped in there? What's the belief that's been held that is feeding this disharmony? So we're just going to all of those types of energies, almost every single client, because that's where the releases happen. It's at that level. So it's, yeah, everything is it's all interrelated. And for sure, the emotional component is gigantic.
Mhm. Huge, huge.
Mhm.
And it also
Uh,
dovetails into the mental energy.
yes.